AITAH for having my boyfriend over once every 2 weeks when he and my roommate don't get along. Advice needed. I, 22F, live with my best friend, also, 22F. Her parents own the apartment and rent it to us. We both pay $650 a month, which is a great deal. We've been friends for almost 8 years. I love her a lot, and even though everyone says, never live with your best friend, we're usually really good as roommates and haven't run into any big issues, except for this one. Some context, skip if you want. I'll call my best friend, roommate Sarah. Sarah is very particular about her space. In high school she wouldn't even let her parents in her room to wake her up in the morning because it was messy, and would be super pissy with them if they did come in. I am not allowed in her room in our apartment unless she gives me express permission to come in, which is fine. Personally, I grew up having to share a room with my younger sister, super poor family, so I'm pretty relaxed about that stuff and am just happy to finally have own room at all. She frequently will pop her head in without warning, which bothers me a little, but whatever. My boyfriend, 25M, and I have been dating for almost 4 years. Sarah isn't super fond of him. There are some fair reasons for this since our relationship has been rocky at times, but Sarah's also very skeptical of men in general and is honestly just not very friendly or forgiving with them. I think this largely comes from insecurity. She is a bigger girl and has never dated, only had unrequited crushes. I've had several boyfriends since we've known each other. She generally deals with insecurity by being overly aggressive. There's a good amount of tension between them because he's pretty shy and reserved, which she doesn't handle well. She constantly makes jokes at his expense and is generally unwelcoming, leaving him feeling uncomfortable and unable to engage in banter. It's like she never moved past the initial, I'm gonna haze my best friend's boyfriend, phase. Despite this, she doesn't seem to realize that her behavior prevents her from seeing his true personality, and so she basically just thinks he's awkward and doesn't understand why I'm with him. This wouldn't be a huge problem if it was just that, since my boyfriend doesn't really care, and I don't want to move out since I couldn't really afford to live anywhere else in the city and the location is perfect for work, school. However, Sarah is super choosy about when I can have him over. Because I know they don't get along very well, I try to limit how much I bring him over, and only do it around once every 2 weeks, and I always ask Sarah first as a courtesy, just a text along the lines of, are you okay if, BF, comes over tonight? When he does, we always stay in my room and try our best to keep out of Sarah's way. Other than that, we stay at his, which is a 45-minute drive away. However, about half the time that I ask, Sarah says something along the lines of, I'd prefer if he didn't tonight, because of X and Y. One big reason she gives is that she has a dog who gets super excited when people come over, and if she's trying to sleep that can be a pain. I've offered for me and my boyfriend to take her dog for a walk when we get there, which usually calms her down, but it never seems like those solutions are enough. It's just a no from Sarah like 50% of the time I ask. Last week, she said no because she had fallen down a hill earlier in the day and didn't want her excited dog to wake her up. It was really annoying, because me and my boyfriend were getting dinner with his family and they had chosen a restaurant like 5 minutes from my apartment. We both had work early, so it would have been really nice if we could have just crashed at mine. But no, he had to drive 45 minutes home. He's very understanding about it and knows I'm in a tough spot, but it just sucks. To be honest, it's starting to really piss me off. It feels like it's not equally my living space. Sarah has our friends over all the time and I have never once said no to that, even if it's a minor inconvenience for me, because I don't want to spoil Sarah's fun over a small inconvenience. Honestly, I only really ask her if he can come over to be considerate. Of course, there are some times where a no would be fair and there would be good reason. But I'm starting to wonder if it's fair for her to have this level of control over what I do. If it was constant, or me and my boyfriend were taking up the common areas or being messy or loud, I'd understand. But we're so considerate. I feel like I shouldn't have to offer to walk my roommate's dog in order to have my boyfriend over, lol, and even then it's not enough. I want to be considerate of her wishes because she's my friend, but it's becoming a pretty major inconvenience for me to do so. Sarah is in general a lot more of a, I like things this way, kind of person than I am, and our friendship has struggled in the past because she can be very stubborn and aggressive when she's defensive. I don't know how to bring this up or what to do, or if I'm even in the right here. Any advice would be appreciated. Sorry for the long read, sad face.